Hello, friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I am joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hello, Levi.
Hi, Jen.
So,
how's it going?
It's good. We just did Thanksgiving, which was spectacular. You did an amazing spread, as always.
Jen helped a lot.
I helped some. I made some potatoes.
Yeah.
And
some braised green beans.
The green bean fiasco. No, they turned out great. Green beans take an hour. Today we learned.
Sometimes. It depends on the recipe.
Oh my God. So we're like people are due to show up in 20 minutes. And we're starting green bean process. And I'm like, Levi, do you know these take an hour? Because I'm reading through the recipe. And he's like, fuck. Yeah, I know. We got to go.
2 points of order, Jen. Things were scheduled for food to happen half an hour after arrival time. So we were only 10 minutes behind at that time. Second, we were constrained in terms of large pots. So I ended up grabbing my giant fuck off stew pot. This thing is probably like 1.5 feet tall.
6-gallon pot.
Yeah, just put in the beans on the bottom sixth of it or whatever.
Yeah, I almost needed a footstool to reach my spoon down in there to stir everything down to the bottom.
But it's what we had to do to get things to move in, so we did. And they were great.
It was great. And we hope you all guys had a good Thanksgiving or whatever it is that you decided to do on Thursday.
Well, in real time, in the release schedule, this is going to be a week and a half after Thanksgiving.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Leftovers are probably gone at this point. Oh, well, it's fresh in my mind, so.
Sure. Also, you are fresh from our break week.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
Cool. Well, enough bullshit. Let's get to it.
Oh my God.
Time for the conclusion to our Blue Mage series. Today, we are doing the full level 50 quest and the Masked Carnivale. But first, what happened last time, Jen?
Last time was literally the whole,
Yep, the whole thing.
First chunk of stuff? Okay. So I think that's when we started training with Martin.
Yes.
And basically training, quote unquote, meant doing some of his side jobs for him. Because bro is just looking for money in every possible way, including shady loans from shady people. And eventually Royce and us, we follow him to one of these meetings with one of these shady characters, and we overhear that he's been looking for dream flower, which is an ingredient in an illicit drug. And Royce is like, bro, you are so done. You've been lying to us this whole time, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, actually, the whole reason he's hella in debt and trying to get money and just getting drugs under the table and whatever is because his Whalaqee friends, their whole community is suffering from an epidemic, and they're dying in droves, and he's needed to make this medicine to send to them bit by bit by bit. And Royce was like, you should have told us in the beginning. I could have helped you out. And she hooks him up with a supplier for processed dream flower, and he commits to doing way more performances as a thank you to Royce, and he gets really tired. He gets injured in the ring. And now Whastrach, his former Arcanist buddy who went with him to the New World to hang out with the Whalaqee and also learned blue magery, has become a bit of a big businessman, and he is currently in Ul'dah. He decides to take up Martin's mantle and do the training in his stead. And then he gives us some bullshit about ceruleum is the way of the future, and it's not sword and sorcery, it's magitech and whatever. So we get that little lecture, and that's it. Well, then Martin tells him about the Whalaqee, and Whastrach is like, oh man, I've got contacts, I've got resources, I can help with this. I will get the medicine going, I'll start to produce it in bulk, I'll send it over there myself, great. Fucking everything's fixed. Fantastic.
Great. So, Jen, why are we doing a part 3 if we fixed everything last time?
Well, because Whastrach is, Whastrach. And yeah, he's just going full capitalism and causes some trouble.
So we got sent away last time to go and learn Glower. We do, and we return to Lahul Jah, and he summons Martin, who emerges from his sickbed in his blue pajamas and a classic bandage covering one eye.
Right. Yeah. Pajamas.
The cartoon sign of being sick.
Yep. I've been without an eyeball for weeks now.
He says that we did a great job getting Glower, and everyone did a great job of saving the Whalaqee.
Yay!
But wait, a small child in loose blue decorated clothes runs up.
Yeah, he's not from here. He's Whalaqee.
Yes. Martin
like,
wonders,
bro.
Siada, how did you get here? Martin tells us that this child is the Whalaqee chirurgeon that he told us of.
He's like 14.
The one who needs the Dreamflower to make the plague remedy. But never mind that, says Dr. Child. I have something urgent to tell you. Martin's rival Whastrach brought the medicine, and everyone is cured, but he's also claiming Lapis Canyon. Martin wonders why Whastrach cares about the canyon, but that's it. It's rich in ceruleum. Who could have seen this coming? Also, Jen, speaking of the child's age, you think that he's 14. My theory is that the devs thought the Whalaqee would be smaller people in general.
That's totally possible, like the Pelu Pelu.
We complained about this game's children models beforehand. This person reads to me as being 9 or 10 or so, roughly. Also, he does like the arms raised,
the
jumpy.
Child, the excitable child animation.
Yeah, when he runs up too. The presentation is child, but I think he's actually a full-fledged adult. He doesn't come off as being like an inexperienced teen. He seems like a mature, competent adult.
Right. He has a unique model, too, I think, at least in the face.
Yeah. So anyway, we have deduced that Whastrach has moved in on the Whalaqee because of the Lapis Canyon and its ceruleum stores. So we now run over to yell at Whastrach, who is likely at the Northern Thanalan processing plant.
Which was confusing to me at first. I'm like, if he's trying to take over Lapis Canyon and set up some shit, why would he be at the ceruleum processing plant?
Jen, he loves ceruleum. That's his one trait we've established so far.
Understood. But the fact that he was back, like, in Thanalan at all was surprising to me. Because so when Siada was like, let's go confront Whastrach, and I'm like, are we literally going to get on a boat and travel to the New World and confront him?
He doesn't live in the, quote, New World.
Oh, I know. But he's, like, setting some shit up. Anyway, that's all. But of course he has to be in Thanalan because we have to talk to the guy.
There are two theories. One is that he's just such a ceruleum enthusiast that he's just got to look at it. He just wants to be by it, smell it, breathe it, look at it. The other theory is that he also has investments in Northern Thanalan too.
Oh, he's probably getting his own shit processed through there. Like, I don't know, does he license it out occasionally? Like it's I don't know how that whole thing works. But whatever, he's there. Let's not look too far into it.
Jen, what do you think we do here exactly?
Look too far into it and then we get frustrated. So anyway.
I think it's very plausible that he's there. Anyway.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So yeah, Martin confronts him about being like a monster, And he's like, yeah, I didn't steal anything. An agreement was signed. It's all above board, perfectly legal.
And Siada yells that the elders who signed this agreement can't even read Eorzean.
Well, that's a problem.
Also, your laws don't apply to us. Your Eorzean laws don't apply in a different continent entirely.
And they were basically manipulated into signing this thing. They can't read it. Whastrach shoves it in their face, and he's like, "You can have the medicine if you sign this document." They had no idea what they were signing. This is monstrous and despicable. So, despite Siada's arguments and totally calling him out on his bullshit, Whastrach is like, "Oh well, it's too bad, so sad. My company paid a ton of money to produce and ship the medicine that saved all of your lives. I deserve a little something for my efforts." And he saved the tribe from annihilation, and this confrontation is how they repay him. Oh, I fucking hate this guy.
So Siada protests that the blue glowing Lapis Canyon is the center of the Whalaqee's beliefs. Don't be absurd, says Whastrach. That blue substance is just ceruleum. It's not doing anybody any good sitting underground. Plus, I will bring you jobs. You love jobs. I'll pay the Whalaqee a proper wage for work at the Lapis Canyon.
Yeah, that's great. He's like, I can employ the Whalaqee. You guys can finally earn a wage. Isn't that fantastic? I can free you from your belief system. You can finally join capitalist society, which is the fucking dream. Martin, obviously, is infuriated by everything that's going on here. Their belief system isn't superstitions, okay? It's their entire way of life. Whastrach has no right to disrupt it for the sake of quote-unquote progress. And Whastrach argues that progress is responsible for the medicine that saved their people to begin with. Also, his investor in the medicine endeavor signed on the promise of future ceruleum mine money. Now, Royce walks up, because apparently somebody told her that all of us have gathered at the ceruleum processing plant in northern Thanalan for some reason, so she shows up.
She's checking on her investments too, Jen.
And she's like, you know who that investor is? Well, that's me. Yeah, that's me. I invested, she says, in the opportunity to trade with the new world, not in a ceruleum mine necessarily. And hearing Whastrach's actual plans for the first time, she threatens to pull out of the deal because it's the optics are real shitty.
So, Jen, last time when I was complaining about Royce having her drug contacts or whatever for the Dreamflower supply, I was already feeling sketchy towards her based off that. But also, I was prepared to brush it off as being like a Realm Reborn moral oversight. Because a lot of shit in A Realm Reborn just doesn't seem to be aware of the morality of its own storytelling. See Copperbell, for instance, and Copperbell Hard. So I thought that maybe they were just putting forward a convenient solution that might look bad on paper. But no, now Royce is supporting this overseas mining venture.
Well, yes and no.
Well, yes and no, and yes again, because this gets worse now. Royce says that she does not appreciate being kept in the dark, but also this ceruleum is a worthwhile venture. So rather than make her own moral judgment, she puts it on us to fight it out. Blue Mage on Blue Mage in the Celestium. So she's either going to make money from the ceruleum or make money from, well, either way she's making money from the Blue Mage battle, plus she'll maybe make money for the ceruleum too. So I'm going to put Royce into the morally flexible minus category.
Sure. Yeah, this is on brand for Royce. This is not surprising at all.
Also, last aside, Jen, this felt a lot like A Realm Reborn. Again, see the prior citation about A Realm Reborn's moral kind of obliviousness. But Blue Mage came out in the Stormblood patch series, Jen. This is a Stormblood era quest line that takes place in A Realm Reborn zones.
Oh, wow.
So the Stormblood writers have decided to make this winner of a conundrum here. And it gets worse from here on. Go on, Jen.
So she's basically like the Vince McMahon of old Awe, you know? Maybe not that bad, but you know what I mean. So she leaves the decision up to, like you said, the fight. So now we have to go up against Whastrach in the arena, and whoever wins, that's the thing we're gonna do. So if we win, then there is no mine. The Whalaqee get to maintain their sacred ground and their way of life. And if we lose to Whastrach, he gets to do all the shit that he was going to do anyway. With the caveat, like, this is going to happen, but Royce was like, as long as they're not exploited.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would never.
Just say no, guys. Come on. I don't think that Whastrach's ceruleum ventures can feasibly enforce this. These guys are all blue mages. I'm sure they can defend themselves. I don't think that you have to just give up your land because someone stuck a unknown piece of paper in front of you. But that's what's going on here.
Let's not look too deeply into it. Plot holes galore.
Jen, what do we do here?
So not only is this arrangement like agreed upon by everybody, it's also agreed to by Seada, as if like the devs were like, okay, we're gonna need to get the players' blessing, and the only way we're gonna get that, because we understand how much of a stretch this is for anybody to accept, we're gonna need the Whalaqee to be okay with it too. So Seada is like, you know what? This seems totally equitable. This is how we deal with conflicts back at home. You know, we put two people who had a conflict in a ring and they combat each other, and that's how we do that. And so
that's that. We're going to have our blue mage off. We return to Ul'dah, and we get a cutscene sweeping through the stands of the Celestium. On the arena floor, we have Royce, Martin, and the Mamul Jah. They are waiting in the center for us to appear in our brand new threads. Our character strides in a fancy new blue outfit. I like this outfit a lot, Jen. It's much more elaborate than our leveling gear.
The leveling gear is really cute. I like little. It's cute.
It's all good.
But this is like, well, it's like Martin's outfit.
Yeah, it is a lot more rich. I feel like Blue Mage is themed as a show person, so it really fits the bill here.
Yeah.
Plus the red lining on the cloak, it really adds some accent that this outfit needs. Same thing for the wand you get once you beat this thing.
I equipped it immediately. Yeah. I'm like, perfect. The red was meant to be.
Yeah, you got to offset some of that blue.
Yeah.
So we show up in our sweet duds. We whip out some blue magic at Latul Jah, our poor blue magic test subject. We do a bunch of cool spells. We finish off with the glower, and Latul Jah collapses. Our character does a fist pump. Take that, innocent bystander.
Yeah. So now it's Whastrach's turn. So he, this is like a whole thing, right? So there's two huge doors on opposite sides of the arena. Like our door opens up and it's like, we enter the ring, and then Whastrach's door slowly opens up like a portcullis, and he floats out in this crazy, like, Magus green and red, because evil robe.
I'd call it a cyan personally.
Not even close. It's definitely green.
Okay, green robe.
It's green and red.
Even though he is Azul Magia. Green Magia. Sorry, I'll stop sassing you, Jen.
Okay, so he comes out and he's got his green or red outfit. Green because evil. Blue good. Red and green bad. And it's like bedazzled in gold and stuff. And he has this horrifying mask on. It's really creepy. It's like this, like a green goblin mask with like sharp teeth and vacant eyes and a dark black endless bottomless maw.
And he's floating. Yeah.
Yeah. So Royce apparently she whipped up this little contraption powered by ceruleum, of course.
Azul Magia, aka Whastrach, he whips out his own blue magic moves at Kahil Jah, who also collapses.
He's like, why do I have to be the villain? Well, we all know why, bro. We know why. So anyway, Royce is like, this is all great, but I'm going to suggest that you, and she's talking to us, you practice a little bit more before the main event. Just work on stuff. And Whastrach is like, train all you want. Lapis Canyon will be mine.
And that's that. We have unlocked the Masked Carnivale.
Which is our quote unquote practice.
It's learning by going through the ranks.
Yeah.
My memory, Jen, was that we had to do the initial matches before we could fight Azul Magia. But right now, at least, you can walk up there and fight him ASAP and be done. You don't have to do the preceding 24 missions, matches, whatever. I swear that when I was doing this the first time, I had to do some that more appeared on the list, do some more appeared. Maybe they changed it, or maybe I'm just misremembering. I don't know. I tried looking it up. I couldn't find it. Irrelevant. We're doing them all.
Yeah. Every single one.
The Carnivale is the capstone to the Blue Mage quests in A Realm Reborn. You will need to have a solid spell collection and solid Blue Mage skills to prevail. This is a challenging series. It's also an excellent way to earn allied seals. And poetics if you need those. There are weekly challenges on certain matches that will earn you bonus seals, such as taking no damage, casting only certain types of spells, win within a certain time limit, and other limitations to spice up the show. So you might have seen, Jen, when you finish a match, you get like a vomit of different names that come out you, like no time to die and something.
Too fast, too furious.
Exactly. These are telling you what challenges that you've done either on purpose or accidentally during your match.
Typically accidentally, yeah. There are some challenges, I think there's usually like 3 of them, that are notated with a little star.
Yeah.
And it gives you a set of of these little like bonus achievements, quote unquote, to try to get so that you can get the good reward for hitting all of those for these special matches.
Yep.
I tried really hard on one. I was so close, but I just had to, I bailed. I'm like, I got way too much to do.
Fair.
But this was a really, really great way for me to learn the ins and outs of my entire spell book, because different fights, you need to have a totally different loadout.
There are elemental weaknesses here too. So we made fun of having the 220 potency fire spell, 220 potency ice spell, whatever. But now this is the one time you actually care about the elements that you're using, because enemies in these matches will have certain weaknesses. You can actually preview the match. You can see most enemies there. There are some surprises, but you can look at a diagram for a match. You can see, okay, this guy has like a frost weakness. This guy has a wind weakness. And make sure you have those spells set up before you go into the match. Mm-hmm. And they make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I guess like the pro tip would be, if you're going to be some of these challenges, when you do the little preview for each act and you can see what enemy you'll be fighting and their stats and stuff. Sometimes when you actually get to that fight, more enemies will join the fight beyond what the preview told you would be interacting with. So what that means is you do not need to kill all of these extra dudes. You only need to kill the one guy that was the point of the fight. So if it's just like, focus on your target. Don't worry about the ads unless you have to worry about the ads. But there was one fight where I kept focusing on, or I kept trying to deal with everybody. And I finally had tried it so many times. I'm like, I need to look it up. And the thing that did it for me was like, you only need to kill this one guy. You don't need to worry about this other shit. And that was a revelation. It was fantastic. Yep. It's very, very satisfying to kind of suss out what it is that you need to do. They're like little puzzles, like little logic puzzles. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there will be hints, and sometimes you just gotta try and see what the fuck is going on, and then go back and adjust your spellbook, adjust your loadout, and go back and try it again. That was really satisfying for me.
The one main gripe I have about this is the multi-round matches, because if you fail a later round, you are rebooted to the very start.
Yep.
And some of these are puzzles where there's no way to know the solution until you interact with a certain thing on the match, and then you die because you messed up. Then you have to go back 2 rounds to the beginning and do it all from scratch, which is a pain. There are also fights that serve as tutorials for the big showdown at the end. You do the tutorial matches, fine, you win, you move on to the showdown. The showdown mixes up things in some fashion, and then you lose because of that. Then you have to go back and do the tutorial fights again because there's no saving midway through.
Yeah.
It's just a huge drag if you're dealing with a difficult mechanic at the very end, having to grind out several minutes of boring shit.
In those instances, which I think I can count on one hand, I think, the fights that were like that. I just got really, really good at the first 1 or 2, having to do them over and over again. The second to last fight, the amazing Technicolor, whatever the fuck.
Dreamcode.
Not.
I know.
Yes, but no. There's 3 acts there, and that was like the first one was trying to like parse what the fuck is going on. The second one I was trying to fucking parse what was going on, and the third one was like a total mind fuck. So I did those first 2 a lot. And then like I think there were 2 that were really, really annoying towards the end. So it's kind of a mindfuck because you'll get like a couple that are really difficult or like hard to parse, and you're trial and error, you're just going at it. And then the one that's after, then the game will give you one that is just fight a dude. There's no trick, there's no gimmick. It's just fight a dude. And that's always like, okay, what's going on here? Where's the waiting for the other shoe to drop? There's no shoe. Just fight a guy. That was hard to just recalibrate my brain for those. It just it's a roller coaster.
So we have each chosen 5 matches without consulting one another that are noteworthy to us, and we will compare and contrast. So Jen, do you want to start us off with your first match, please?
The first one I put down, I don't remember which number it was, but it's Gentlemen Prefer Swords. So this is Act 1 was 2 bats and a wolf. Act 2 was Kratos, which is a Dullahan with lightning weakness. So I put this one because it was like one of the first ones I did where I had to like figure it out and use a very particular combination of spells to get it done. So the 2 bats and a wolf, I don't think there was anything special about that. But the Dullahan, he spawns a bunch of little Magitech dudes. So you have to freeze them all together, and I glowered them, so they all died. But like, if you keep those guys alive, it is an absolute nightmare. So it was just like freeze, death, boom, fight can go on as normal. And I'm like, oh, that was really satisfying.
My first mention is number 7, a chorus slime.
Oh, that's my third one.
Cool. Well, hit me with your thoughts as we go through it. So this is a 3-round match. The first round tutorial, you're fighting a slime and 2 ice sprites. Ice sprites, true to form in Stone Vigil, they will fuck you up a lot. Apparently, they ignore line of sight too. More on that in a minute. The slimes are interesting because they don't really move. They just explode once you fuck with them. If you poke a slime, they will detonate and kill everything, friend or foe, nearby. So first one, slime tutorial, kill the slime or poke the slime. It explodes, killing the ice sprites. The second one sucked. The second one has 4 slimes in the middle and 4 ice sprites around the perimeter. The ice sprites are behind these stone blocks. These stone blocks block line of sight for you, not for the ice sprites. I did this round 2 many times over because I was trying to kill the ice sprites in a non-tedious fashion. So I would try to hit one with the dot, try and line of sight it. Didn't work because it shot me through the boulder, through the rock, whatever.
Oh, you just went straight for the sprites.
Well, I've got a saga here, Jen. So
despite the tutorial. Interesting.
Well, yes, because the sprites are not near the slimes.
Correct.
So anyway, first attempt, I tried to dot the sprites and then line of sight them. They would not follow you. They can shoot you anywhere in the arena from behind cover somehow. It sucks.
It's a clue.
2 of them will DPS you pretty much beyond your healing capacity.
Yeah. So you can't go at them yourself.
So second attempt, I tried to use Sticky Tongue to pull the sprites into the middle. Oh. However, the amount of DPS incoming was faster than my Sticky Tongue cast, so then I just died to sprite DPS. So finally, I pulled like 1 sprite into the middle. I set off the slimes there, killed the 1 sprite. Then I went around and did a boring focus fire on every other sprite in the arena.
Damn.
Jen, how was your round 2 in this?
I went to like one hemisphere. So I would go south, stood in the middle. I pulled the 2 slimes to the 2 sprites that were there. And the AoE from the slime was big enough. I could just go sloop, sloop. And then I hit the slimes and they killed those 2 sprites. Then I went to the other hemisphere, did the same thing.
I think that is the preferred method. Good job.
Thank you.
Round 3 of this match. Round 3 has a new mechanic. This is like a capacitor or something.
This is fun. Yeah, it's like a big Tesla coil.
Mm-hmm.
It's this huge lightning tower thing.
And these are behind some L-shaped pieces of cover. So these towers, they will charge up. There's a very long cast bar. You can see it. When it goes off, they will blast everything in line of sight.
Mm-hmm. You need to be behind the wall so you don't get got. So how was this one for you?
It was fine. The first time I messed up my range on the slimes and I killed myself on a slime because I was closer than I should have been to one of the slimes.
Yeah.
The second time, though, I mean, the gimmick is pretty clear. It's just, it takes time to execute.
Yeah.
Because you got to sticky tongue the slimes.
One by one by one.
And it takes probably 2 pulls. I was being safe. Yes. So 2 tongues per slime to get them in position. The capacitor charges up faster than that. So I'd have to like pull slime, hide, pull slime, hide.
Yep.
6 times over to get them on top of the towers, detonate the slimes, and then you're good to go. It takes a long time to execute once you even get the gimmick.
Yeah, you have to sticky tongue each slime over to clear that segment of wall, but then you have to sticky tongue it up a little bit so it's in line of sight of the tower, and you have to time that so that you're not getting got by the tower's AoE. So it's very repetitive, but you need every single slime. Each tower needs 3 slimes to die. So if you fuck a slime up,
3 slimes to die.
3 slimes to die. If you fuck a slime up, you got to start over. You won't be able to kill the tower at all. So, but that was fun. That's like like, this is probably the puzzliest of all the puzzle ones. Yeah.
Just wish it weren't buried behind 2 rounds.
I don't know. I think it was like a fun escalation of the concept.
I agree.
So
but
they teach you, like, hit a slime, it'll explode and damn it and kill things.
Sure. But again, if you die on the 3rd one, you got to do the first 2 over again. And it is not super fast.
Nope. But, sometimes you just got to practice and figure it out and get good.
Oh my God. Get good, Jin over here.
You are not owed a single pull win, all right?
It's not about the single pull win. It's about not grinding out shit I already know to do the thing that is difficult.
Man, how are you playing video games just like at all, man? It's like a core concept of like
checkpointing is a important game design aspect.
These
Jen.
rounds take like 6 minutes, dude.
The Jin has spoken. Jin is pro repetition.
I didn't mind it because, like I said, the rounds each are like between 3 and 5 minutes apiece.
What was your other early mention, Jin?
This was the 3 penny turtles.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
This is just, sometimes it wasn't because they were like interesting or challenging or whatever. It was just like, huh. So this one I wrote it down because I feel like I was missing something. The way you deal with this couldn't possibly be like, or the way I dealt with it couldn't possibly be like the quote unquote right way or what the devs intended.
This is like a single round 3 turtles match, right? 3 big turtles.
Yeah, it's 3 adamantuses and they're chilling in their shells the whole time. They're like up in their shells, And so they don't come out of their shells ever. They don't walk around. They don't move. They're just, it's like what's that game? Like 3 Shell Monty?
Yeah.
Like they're chilling like that.
3 turtle Monty.
So you just go up and you hit them with like 2,000 needles, and then they die. And I'm like, so I walked up and I'm just like, I'm smacking them, and it's doing like 7 damage each time. I'm like, this isn't working. So it was probably like a physical damage thing.
Yes, I would check their buffs, Jen. You can, if they have like a thing going on.
Too soon for me to like too soon for me to like know to look there.
Well, look at that.
I hadn't figured that out.
Important lesson learned.
But I figured it out by accident.
Well, sure, but that's great. That is one way to do it. Like we know from earlier, 1,000 needles has a fixed damage. It's not reduced by damage resistance. It's also not increased by damage buffs. So a great way to get past that.
And it's not magic. It's physical.
Yep. I used Missile, Jen, to cut down their health.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both valid tactics.
Oh, man. That's the second to last one. Maybe I should have mentioned it just because I really had a difficult time parsing that, but I did, and that was very satisfying.
Are you talking about match 24?
25, does it go to 26?
No, 25.
Is 26?
Azul Magia is 25.
Okay, so the 24th one, yeah.
Okay, well, let's hit these in rough order.
Anyway, okay, your next one.
Okay, next for me is number 15, the Me Nobody Nodes.
Is that the one that gave you a little headache? It's the defense node, right?
It's a minor headache, honestly. This is a single round match with 1 Allegan node in the middle.
That's why I was like, oh, it's like one of those defense nodes.
Yes.
Got it.
This thing is fine. The node's fun. It does lots of cool moves, lots of things to dodge, interesting patterns, all good. Mm-hmm. The main thing about this match, though, that jumped out to me is that this node summons in ads. The first ad it summons is one of those kind of elongated axe guys.
Elongated.
It's like a horny.
He's a
humanoid.
bipedal. He's an upright bipedal, like horny lizard dragon man.
Yeah.
With an axe and weird feet.
And this guy will hit you for probably 90% of your health if he melees you. Mm-hmm. And he moves at a normal speed. So I tried so many times to kill this fucking guy. I tried to like stuns, paralysis. Heavy does not work on him.
Great.
Or if it does not work very well. So eventually I used Ram's voice to freeze him and then focus fire DPS him. But this guy will walk right up to you and he'll two-shot you in no time whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're still having to dodge the node's bullshit.
Yes.
At this time.
Yep.
So you're like running around. I'm like, and you're trying to like stay far enough away from this guy. You're like, I don't know. And you're just throwing spells at him, hoping one of them will fucking work.
Yes.
It's a good time.
The node summons other ads, but those are easy. It summons the snake guys, the Caduceuses, no problem. And then there's like one other ad later on. Nothing is a problem except for the first ad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a fun fight. I enjoyed it.
I do wonder now if he is sleepable. Because he's an ad, you do not see his vulnerabilities when you are looking at the match diagram.
I think I slept him.
But it might be that you are supposed to keep him slept forever to deal with him. I don't know. My method worked too.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about Blue Mage, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more than one path, typically.
Yeah, there is. All right, Jen, what's next?
My fourth one, I called this my dishonorable mention. This is Blobs in the Woods. So this one, the first act, there's 2 acts. The first one, hold on, I need to look it up because the first act was so like I don't even remember it. I didn't even talk about it because it didn't fucking matter.
It's probably killing like a blob or something.
It was like for like some blobs, and they had like different elemental weaknesses or whatever. Who cares?
Done.
So Act 2, now they retaliate with heavy, and there's like this big, like the big wooden obstruction in the middle of the arena. And there's 4 of these motherfuckers at one at each side of this giant box. So you have the ability to like move out of line of sight of them. If you're fine, I'm like, okay, so I'm probably gonna have to like target them and then move out of sight or do some kind of bullshit. So the issue is that I was getting hit. Okay, so when you hit them, they retaliate with heavy. Which means you essentially cannot move, and I couldn't move, and I was getting hit because I couldn't move. So I was just, but I wasn't getting hit enough that I was dying and able to restart. So, and I couldn't abandon the duty either because you're like, I'm in the middle of battle. You can't just abandon a thing when you're in the middle of battle. I'm like, but you don't understand. I've been just like, it'll continue to hit you and hit you and hit you with heavy. So you're just heavy for 8 solid minutes, and I can't abandon. I can't kill myself. I can't because I didn't have final sting. Believe me, I looked. I was trying desperately to figure out what the fuck. And I was like, I could sprint, but that's still only like moving very slowly. It took forever to get out of that AoE, but like, and get out of line of sight so I could try to do something. And then I just killed myself because I'm like, I'm not doing this again. So that was one that I had to look that up.
How did you solve it, Jen?
What you do is you use Loom to scoot yourself out of the heavy, out of the AoE, so you can't get got over and over again, because it will just keep you afflicted with heavy the whole time, and you can do jack shit about it.
They love their heavy and Loom combo. Loom's also important in the final trial. Loom, for those who don't recall, this is a cast bar to teleport. So just like all teleports in the game, it's actually a very fast movement, not a teleport. And also it has a cast bar. In general, the cast bar takes as long to cast as it would take to walk where you're teleporting to. The only benefit to it is when you have to move when you are either
if you've been
immobilized
or
heavy.
Yeah.
That is the sole purpose of Loom, which only comes up, as far as I know, in the Masked Carnivale. Otherwise, take that shit off your bar. It's not needed in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Jen, it's odd to me that you had such an issue. I had the same thing happen on this trial to me where I got heavied and I did not come in with Loom because why would I?
Right.
But I just tanked it out. I killed the blob and I waited out the debuff and I moved on.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't just like kill the dude while I was dicking around.
Well, Jen, my next mention is number 16. This is Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
This is a 2-round stage. The first stage has 2 Cyclopses here. The Cyclopses in this one are like homing death missiles. They are not normal Cyclopses. They walk to you slowly, but if they hit you, you die. So you've got to kite these guys around while you burn them down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 of them. You do that. Great. Then you get to Act 2. Act 2 has a normal Minotaur. You know, he does the swing and the swinge and the...
tail shit, maybe, or something.
Oh, and the swipe. Swing and swipe are their moves. Normal Minotaur stuff. But he summons in Cyclops ads. So you gotta dodge the swings and the spins and so on while he is summoning in these one-shot kill Cyclops missiles.
Yep.
That's all.
That's fun.
Fun times. Next up, Jen, I took note of Midsummer Night's Explosion. This one is both fun and annoying.
I don't remember this one at all.
This is a fight against like one of those beefy demon guys. I think they're called manticores, like the final guy in the Whalaqee Hard, for instance.
Ah, okay. Oh, the ogre guy.
Ogre demon.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so this fight takes place in a room full of barrels. If you tap the barrels, they explode in a medium AoE.
Oh, yeah, this one.
The enemy is fun because he's just like the final boss in Stone Vigil Hard, where he doesn't actually, quote, cast anything. He just does animations to telegraph what he's going to do.
He just walks around and he's like swiping at you and shit.
Fun time to do that. But the barrels are a part of the match, as in you got to kill every single damn barrel to move on, which is extremely tedious. Plus, they don't do shit to him. It'd be cool if you're supposed to bait him. If they do, it's tiny.
You don't have to use the barrels to damage him, but it's convenient to like get him to kite him into a barrel zone, and he swipes the barrel instead of you.
I tried,
and then it hits him.
And I saw like no damage coming up whatsoever.
It's like by the time we got all the way around the arena with all of these barrels like hitting him instead of nothing, there was very little left for me to do, which was great.
I tried baiting them into barrels, and I saw no measurable difference. It was like, whatever. They're just like hazard for me, not for thee. Second round is two of the same guys. Doing two guys, just like in Stone Vigil Hard, is very hard to keep eyes on both of them, and also not being by barrels before they blow up in your face. Fun fight. Barrels are annoying. Jin, what's next?
My last one is on a clear day, you can smell forever. And this was 2 acts. It's a morble each time. And they're both called Reflective Rebecca. And they are going to reflect magic damage back onto you. So if you do magic spells against them, you're going to take the same damage that they're taking. So you need to switch everything over to physical damage to hit them at all. So that took a little bit of figuring out for me, because I hadn't grasped the like magic versus physical. So it took, I think, 2 runs on the first act for me to get the pattern. I'm like, oh, got it. And also I think I finally masked over the buff that they had. Reflects all magic damage.
Yep.
Like, oh.
Finally, you check the buffs.
So yeah.
Also, Jen is in her name.
Correct. But it was like reflecting, it's not just magic, it's reflecting everything. You know, I had to figure out what the delineation was.
I know that you're not a long-term Final Fantasy fan, Jen, but reflect in Final Fantasy means it reflects magic back.
So the first time I tried it's just like attrition. I would like hit Rebecca for a little, it would hit me for a little, I would cleanse or heal, hit her again. It would hit me again. I would have to cleanse and or heal again. It was just like, this is not how this is supposed to be done. Like, this is dumb. So I died, obviously. So I figured out the physical damage. I set up a whole new loadout of just basically all my physical damage shit. No problem. Act 2. Here we go. I'm like, are you going to reflect physical damage now? Do I have to do magic against you? No. Same gimmick, except this time, Rebecca will call in a whole radial assemblage, a radial spread of demon eyeballs, which basically means you cannot look away. It doesn't matter where you're facing, you will get got by this thing. You can get hit by, I mean, you'll dodge like 7, but get hit by the 8th, you know, no matter where you're looking, which will kill you. So I did that like twice, and I'm like, how do I, there's gotta be something. Was it Diamondback? It wasn't Diamondback. Like something that would, blind. What if I were blind? So then I went in, I didn't have water jet equipped because who cares? So I had to go through my spell book like one by one, mousing over to see which one of these motherfucking things afflicts blindness.
You know, you can filter by damage type and condition, right?
Nope. So I went spell by spell by spell
Upper
by
right
spell
corner
by spell.
of the HUD, there is a little filter icon to filter by anything you would care about for Masked Carnivale stuff.
Well, great. Now that it's over. So I found the one thing that gave blindness, which is water jet, which is like one of the first things you get. And I put that on. So I figured it out all by myself. I was very proud. I didn't cheat.
I'm proud of you too, Jen.
Look it up.
Good job.
So then I went and I cast water jet on Rebecca, and I got blinded. The eyeballs went off, and I was blind, and I couldn't see him, and I was fine.
I know that you learned that from, is it P8S, Jen? That you got to blind yourself intentionally to avoid gazes?
Oh, yeah. There was like, I don't know if it was blind or it was like a petrification or that was the fight that made our static disband. It was so rough.
Well, anyway, so for me though, Jen, I went in this fight without any preparation. I had sharpened knife on my bar from earlier shit, so I didn't get got by the reflection. I hate these reflecting fights though. It's super boring. It's just like one button you mash over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it's
once you get it, I'm like, okay, well then that's that.
Yep. But for the second one, your gaze cone is much smaller than you think. So you can actually thread the needle between two of the eyeballs and not get gazed, even while not being blind.
How did you figure that out?
From
like
other
trial and
gaze
error?
mechanics?
Just like orienting yourself,
No,
just right in that sweet spot.
I
between
one-shot
eyeballs?
this fight because I've figured this out from other fights with gaze mechanics.
Oh, well, la-di-da. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen, my final mention is Miss Typhon.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, dude. That one gave me some trouble. That was the one where I was like, why can't I do this? And the internet was like, you only need to kill the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, great.
This fight is very close to being good, but it's actually bad, in my opinion.
Wow, okay.
So 3-round fight. First one against Typhon, second one against Ultros, the final one against Typhon and Ultros combined. The first two serve as tutorials, essentially.
Yeah.
Typhon, his main thing is he does snort, which in this case, it'll be a knockback. And then after the knockback, he will spam like 3 high damage fireballs.
You'll die.
You have to diamond back through the whole thing or you will die.
Yeah, you'll die.
That's it. Ultros, his main mechanic is Imp Song. You get turned into an imp. Side note, the Imp Song cooldown for him, if he gets you with it once, he will cast it on you again before
You'll be
you
an
can...
imp forever.
Yes.
You'll die.
Because you cannot interrupt it. It's an interruptible spell, so you use Fish Slap to interrupt it. But...
So that means you have to keep switching your focus so that you can see like which one of these motherfuckers is casting what, so that I could know when to interrupt Imp Song, but then I needed to know when Typhon was doing the snort, so that I knew to diamond back for the triple hit, and that got me. Like I could not get the timing down to handle both of these motherfuckers.
Yes. Same complaints beforehand. It's 2 tutorial fights, so you know how to fight them before you fight them together. Fine. When you're doing the last fight, which is very difficult, doing the tutorials over and over again is not very fun.
They were easy at that point.
Great.
Like, yeah,
anyway, the last fight, it combines them both, which means you have to both diamond back and fish slap the Imp Song at the same time, except the timers on the snort and the Imp Song overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So while you are diamond backed to survive snort, you then miss the interrupt for the Imp Song, you get imped.
There's no way to time that shit out.
And then Ultros summons in these 4 giant tentacles.
Oh, God.
And besides them dropping line AoEs across the arena, if you go near one of them, they knock you back.
Mm-hmm.
If you get hit by one, you're likely to get hit by another one until you are essentially slapped around until you die.
Yeah, you're just stun locked for the whole rest of the thing. And
so this is the one I looked up the solution on because I was getting sick of this.
I had to.
And
I couldn't.
It's pretty much you want to do the Moon Flute Final Sting
this is a
combo.
Final Sting.
Yes.
Yeah, and because it's technically, when you look at the preview for Act 3, technically the only fight you're supposed to fight is Typhon. So the fact that Ultros is there doesn't matter. You just need to kill Typhon. So you do your bristle or your whistle for the buff, and then you're off guard, and then you final sting, but you need to get him down enough so that when you final sting, you actually kill him. But then you can just you kill him right away, so you don't have to deal with Imp Song and tentacles and all that stuff.
So I had my final sting down before the first snort went out, I think. So burst him, and then Moon Flute, Bristle, Final Sting, and dead before it matters. So
God, that was such a relief.
Yeah, same.
The first time when I looked up how to do it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do the final sting thing. I didn't get Typhon down quite enough,
no.
So I died, and he still had like 3% health.
Yep.
I'm like, God damn it.
Well,
but then it was fine.
Enjoy your tutorials, Jen.
Pain in the ass.
After we do all that and all the other trials we skipped over, we can finally face Azul Magia, as you call him, Jen.
Azul Magia? Magia?
A mage is mage.
It's like, but it's Magus, right? Like
or it could be
Magus?
magic.
Magia? Azul Magia?
I think they're all
Azul Magia.
valid. No, not that one.
Oh.
Other three, fine. That one, no. Banned.
Okay.
Anyway, we're fighting him. This is a proper solo boss fight. There are 3 rounds to this match. The first round is real easy.
Yeah. Well, the first 2.
Round 1, he will cast Ice Spikes, which does reflective damage to you if you do physical attacks. So, Jen, you can't use your physical spells.
Oh, no.
Not that.
Ah, jeez.
Otherwise, he just does some normal AoEs. The only thing to watch out for is that he will do the Chimera combo, as in Ram's voice, Dragon's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Out for Ram, in for Dragon. Good to go.
It's pretty easy.
It's easy. Next up, phase 2. Same thing, except that he casts Reflection.
Opposite day.
So now you can't use magic, you must use physical, which means you gotta spam fucking sharpened knife the entire fight. I hate it, Jen.
I used Abyssal Transfixion.
Cool.
Because, like, stun didn't work? I don't think.
That's not unusual for bosses.
So,
yes.
Yeah, sharpened knife is like meh, unless you're stunned. So...
Well, Sharpened Knife is a fast-casting 220 potency attack, which is like the standard for DPS spells.
Okay. I had both of those. So
Cool.
I got to Act 2, and I'm like, oh, he's doing this. Okay, so I had to die, go back out, and then fuck with my spell book, so I had like half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Magic physical. So I don't typically do that. I have like maybe like 1 perfunctory physical damage spell, and everything else is just magic.
I mean, you just need 1, really.
I like to have options.
Either do
it was
drill cannons or Sharpened Knife.
It was Abyssal Transfixion. I also had Sharpened Knife on there. I had 1,000 Needles, but I didn't really use that. And I think is it Mountain Buster? It shares like recast timer with Shock Strike, but it's a pretty high potency.
I think that's Eruption. That is magical damage, though. I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I used it it's physical damage. It's physical. Yeah, it's definitely physical.
Okay.
I think it's Mountain Buster, because Plane Cracker is the other one. That's earth damage, so that's magic. Anyway, yeah. So I would as soon as, and that's a really long cooldown.
Yeah, 1 minute.
But it's really high potency, so I would throw that in whenever I could.
Anyway, it's exactly the same as phase 1, except you're doing physical attacks, and he will throw down those fire angons. These are the exploding spears that the first boss in Wanderer's Palace Hard does. You got to kill the spears before they explode.
Yep. If you do, like I just used Abyssal Transfixion on each one.
Yeah.
1 hit will do it.
They are weak to physical, but they are super resistant to magical, even though they have no markers whatsoever on them.
Oh.
I tried to use some of my like powerful off global cooldown magic spells on them, but it did not work, Jen.
Rip, and then you died.
And then I died,
Yeah.
yes. I was like, cool, I'm not using them for anything else, so may as well just do like a shock strike on one of these guys, but no. But you can be a cool kid, and you can drill cannons, both the boss and the Angon, in 1 attack, saving those precious global cooldowns. Anyway, when you're playing back through these for the boss fight, I know this is my shtick this episode, but it's real boring having to redo these phases, especially phase 2, physical damage spam, to get to phase 3.
Just pushing the same button over and over.
Yep. I wish that they had combined phase 1 and 2 and then had them switch halfway through. There's no reason not to. This is not challenging once you get the gimmick.
Right, yeah. So he just cast another reflection spell, and then the buff, changes.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly what you've been doing isn't working anymore, and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, he changed his shit. That'd be interesting.
Yep. Anyway, so we do the first 2 rounds, no big deal. Then we get to the final round. How did this go for you, Jen?
It went fine until it didn't.
Sounds about right.
Yep. I was like, this is cool. I got it. It's there's a little bit more, but it was all shit that I'd seen. The only other, the main thing that you'll notice is that he could swap the buff. So he does the thing that we just talked about. Like, what if he did this? That'd be so cool.
Yep.
He does that in the 3rd act. So you do have to keep paying attention to what his buff is.
Yes.
So that you know what to switch to.
He opens with ice spikes, so no physical damage. No, wait. He opens with reflection, so no magical damage. But you can sneak in a bristled Song of Torment before he does.
Before he does it.
Yeah. Pro strats. Good job, Jen.
Yeah, thank you.
The first half is just the same as the other two phases, pretty much. It's only about halfway through his health bar when he starts to get spicy.
Yeah, so then he will cast like 4 tornadoes on the arena.
Charybdis.
Okay.
Which is important because the Charybdis tornadoes will do the pulse, where they expand bigger than their animation is.
Yeah.
So he does 4 of those. They are equidistant around the arena.
They're huge.
They're huge. Also, this makes the fucking fight into a visual nightmare. Like, you cannot see shit because there's nowhere to angle the camera that's not covered in swirling.
And I thought that was the gimmick at first, was so that I couldn't see anything. So I had to like zoom into almost like first person view to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. And then I'm like, where do I stand? Where do I stand? And then he casts Meteor, and I'm like, oh, I should probably Diamondback through this. But I tried that twice, and for some reason, it would cast, and then it would immediately uncast. So when I got like the little notes that kind of are dropping down that shows like what you've cast when your debuffs fall off, the little words that kind of slide down. So it would show like plus Diamondback, and then immediately after it'd be like minus Diamondback. And I'm like, I don't know. Is it because my timing was so tight with his cast that it like canceled it out?
I have no idea why it would cancel your Diamondback buff.
And the second time I did Swift cast Diamondback, I had plenty of time, and it did the same thing. Like it was like
clue.
On and off. So I don't know.
Nope.
So then I had to go to the internet to be like, if Diamondback doesn't work, I don't know.
Anyway, we got the 4 whirlwinds from Charybdis. Then he will hit you with a like 30-second uncurable slow, or heavy rather.
Yeah.
And then he will drop a meteor on your location.
Oh, he webs you. Yeah. So the web is the heavier.
Yeah.
The grab. Yeah.
First off, you need to bait this meteor to the side of the arena. If you are in the middle, you're fucked for the fight because it will leave a giant lava pool where it lands. So be on the very edgy edge of the arena, bait that meteor. When you get heavied, use that loom to teleport out of the AoE of the meteor.
You can still Diamondback it. The internet was like, you can Diamondback, and I'm like,
I got no clue what happened to you, Jen.
I don't know. It's super frustrating. So I'm like, well, I'll try to do the loom thing. That was totally effective.
I was going for the achievement run, so I did not want to get hit, period.
Oh, I see.
So I did not try Diamondback. But yeah, again, I don't know why, though, it failed. It
I don't know.
Makes no sense.
But loom was fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, I baited it on the edge of the thing and loomed out.
Perfect. So you loom out of the meteor AoE. Great. Except now the fun begins. Despams
you have nowhere to go.
All the AoEs, and there's nowhere to maneuver because you got the Charybdis tornadoes and half the arena still full of lava and like these little teeny safe spots where he drops these overlapping AoEs kind of
just slivers of safe spots.
Exactly.
But did it.
So how did your win go, Jen?
Once, it was just like, scrambling for a safe spot. So much of the arena was the dead zone. But other than that, it was like boss fight, like whatever.
As soon as he switched over to the physical reflection, I just like burst him down pretty much. And I was able to get him down right after the meteor hit. Mm-hmm. Because I did not want to have to deal with that AoE spam bullshit while trying to get the Chivo too.
Right.
So the last phase of the fight, lots of fun. If you are curious, Jen, this is how you get the perfect blue title from that fight.
Uh-oh.
So you need to beat Azul Magia without taking damage or healing.
Okay.
He does no auto attacks, so it's only spells, AoEs, whatever that will hit you. He will never like whack you with his stick.
Nice.
You need to use each element at least once, and you must use a piercing, blunt, and slashing spell once each at least.
Wow, okay.
The latter is deprecated, but you can go to your blue magic spellbook and you can filter for the invisible damage types of each spell. So if you care, Jen, the knife spell is slashing damage. The drill cannons is piercing, And what I used was the leap. What's it called? It's like flying frenzy, I think.
Yeah.
That's blunt damage.
Oh.
Those 3 together get that box checked. And finally, you have to beat the fight within 7 minutes, 15 seconds. Honestly, that's the easiest part.
Right.
If you do the other ones, you're good to go.
Do you have to do that for each act or just the round?
In total.
Oh, okay.
So no getting hit, period. If you cast a spell once, you're good for the entire fight. So either way, with or without the Chivo, we have defeated Azulmagia, and we return triumphant to our blue bros.
We did it, you guys. We saved Lapis Canyon.
Everyone congratulates us, and Royce withdraws her funding from the Whalaqee ceruleum venture. But Azulmagia challenges us from off-screen. This place will be our burial ground. Ha, JK, says Whastrach.
Aw, he's come around.
Yes, we've reminded him that business is about ethics, too.
Businessman, not a monster.
Besides, there's got to be lots of other places in the new world to find ceruleum.
Yeah, I could drill somewhere else that isn't sacred ground, probably. Great.
And now our child doctor, Siada, volunteers to help. Or rather, no, he recruits Siada.
He invites Siada, like, hey, man, I'm going back. If you want to accompany me and be my guide.
And Siada's like, yeah, I know tons of places that are just like the Lapis Canyon.
For the drilling.
It's like, goddamn, dude.
I know.
Anyway.
Have fun, guys.
So they head off to do that shit. Siada invites us to come visit anytime. But Royce says, oh, no, you don't. The great Azuro II's gotta make me that money.
It's true. Crowds to please, wanted to make.
Martin grumbles that we have surpassed him in fame, but at least he's not beholden to Royce anymore, since the whole epidemic is over. That said, there's no harm in earning a few gil, is there?
Never.
So he's hooked.
For Martin, yeah.
He wants to, though, open up a blue magic guild. To give the finger to the Arcanists Guild especially.
Right. Yeah, they were like, blue magic is stupid. And he's like, shut up, you guys. So opening the guild would make him shut up, probably. But he's going to need some lot of money.
And we are granted Azulmagia's arm, a fancy red rod with a gold sphere on the tip.
So cool.
So cool. Agree. And we are sent on our way. And that's a blue mage.
That's a blue mage.
All right, Jen, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I am proud of you for having beat all 25 of the Masked Carnivales.
It went a lot better than I thought. I was very, very nervous because I remember trying it. I gave it like half a shot with my main character. And I'm like, this is hard.
Well,
and I
Jen,
bailed.
You are a better player, and also you are well equipped now with your full set of A Realm Reborn blue spells.
Yeah. I mean, and also... Jen needs a deadline. So it makes me do stuff.
It does.
And I'm glad I did it because it was very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. There are more of these later on. I wish that there were more, or rather there were bigger dumps of new challenges. Like 25 is a lot. I love more over time versus like a big fat dump than few on the back end. 5 per expansion would be great, just to keep on getting some more variety in there with all the new spells.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Is that not what they're doing?
No, minor spoilers, but there's one more batch of 5, then that's about it almost for the Carnival.
Oh.
That said, there are plenty of blue mage challenges in the wild, just not the ones that are designed to go along with your spells.
Sure. And we're getting up. We're going to be realizing Beastmaster here at some point. So
yep,
we'll have new shit to do.
I am looking forward to that. I hope it's fun.
Me too. Hope it's fun.
Well, like legit, it could be just like, a boring collectathon, or it could actually be like some unique mechanics.
Blue mage with different skins. Like, okay, great. So,
I mean, that's the thing, right? It can't be blue mage because blue mage is blue mage. So what are they going to do to make Beastmaster be like a pursuit?
You're just like a blue mage summoner?
I expect it could be that, which might be too much overlap. I expect it'll be various monsters have various ability sets.
Right.
And then like you might hot swap them for various scenarios.
Yeah, we will see.
Yep.
No idea.
But yeah, looking forward to that when it comes.
Samesies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other Blue Mage comments, Jen?
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're going back on the shelf for a whole expansion, but next time, Jen, next Blue Mage round, we get ethereal manipulation.
Mimicry.
Yes, there we go. Mimicry.
Yeah. So now we can focus our shit into either DPS, healer, or tank
Oh my
mechanics.
God, that'll be so great.
Yeah.
So when I first did Masked Carnivale, Jen, on my main character, I started Blue Mage sometime in the Heaven's Ward era, I think. So I had that shit. I recall like brute forcing some challenges by spamming Palm Cure with the healer attunement. Palm Cure right now is trash, but with healer attunement, it's very powerful and very mana efficient.
Nice.
So, or very MP efficient, as you're supposed to say. So I recall just like going through the entire carnival with like healer attunement and like brute forcing shit I didn't understand just by healing through it.
Yeah.
So not the ideal way. This method makes you be honest. We can't go beyond A Realm Reborn, so we are confined to the OG spells. Good job, us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks, Jen. Thanks so much. Thank you to our listeners. Next time, we're doing the wrap-up for the Allied Society quests in A Realm Reborn. So this will be the finale for all 5 of the tribes that we helped out.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I haven't done it ever, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited to Jen's reaction. For Jen's reaction. That's how we do English, Jen.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Anyway, I will see you, Jen.
Oh my God. And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening and for not being capitalist butt faces. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. Check the show notes for our Discord. You can join our group runs, set up group runs of your own, post memes, pictures of your pets, all that stuff. Everybody's really awesome, and we would love to have you. And we also have our Blue Sky account at podreturnffxiv. It's a little new, but we're there, so give us a follow. And last but not least, our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to literally everything else we do. That includes the seasonal events and our Final Fantasy XI series, Vana'diel Van Splainer. And we have also just posted our second Card Sharks episode talking about the new boss deck for the Final Fantasy card game. So check it out. And with that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.